Hello my friends, and welcome to behind the scenes to a project that I'm going to be working on for the next couple months. It's going to be a documentary that is going to be part of my big project for the internship that I'm about to start. So you know how sometimes you're doing one thing and then your brain goes off on a tangent and does a whole nother thing? Well, I was reading about the benefits of fens and what they can do, and then I heard this voice inside my head going, "Do you want water to purify itself? Do you want CO2 to be sucked out of the atmosphere? Do you want a buffer for when floods occur? Our solution? Fens. But what are they?" Sort of like one of these advertisements on YouTube that are sort of like these awareness campaigns, and then the whole education part kicks in, like you have these 5 seconds dramatic and then you have this longer video. That was sort of my initial thought for it. But then I talked to the person who I'm helping for my internship, a PhD student who actually comes from the same university that I went to, and we sort of expanded on the idea of this video from basically just educating people on wetlands to sort of trying to discuss overall legislation and what people think, what different people, stakeholders and such think of wetlands and whatnot, what they are useful for. And this was mainly because I mentioned at some point that I do have a YouTube channel, so if you mention what you're passionate about, then maybe you can get better projects in the future. Just a thought. The reason this somehow worked out was, so we went to the same university, but I studied Delta Management, which is more political and socially driven, whereas she studied Aqua Ecotechnology, and it's like more the scientific and practical side of things. We both studied water management, so that was like the umbrella. And so usually under water management the problem is you have to sort of have everyone around one table, which in this task split society these days is kind of difficult. And so her project here is basically trying to get some ecometrics for the wetlands. We have like different project areas, and I'm helping her take measurements and such. But so that was the point where it was still a longer video, like trying to include it. And then when we talked with Shane, the third person who we share the office with, that's when it turned into a full-blown documentary, because he is at this sort of group called National Parks and Wildlife Service, and so he's one of the, I feel like he's gonna be one of the people that is also gonna be a part of this documentary, because I don't know, we met for lunch and we kind of had this thought. I shared the quote-unquote silly idea I had at the beginning, but it turned but we were getting more and more invested, and at the end of that lunch I was like, editing software, got that already. Talking in front of the camera, I've done that thanks to YouTube. But making it a documentary based on a whole bunch of interviews is a much more complex task. So the way I tried to structure it is basically I would start at a practical level in the fen, talk to some local people, and then basically build the conversation to a more abstract level with each interview, so that those who pay attention can sort of get behind the more abstract concepts, so that the documentary sort of kind of, at least I hope that it can push people to a higher level of understanding. And then the way I'm gonna do this with the interviews, Skillshare is a thing, and I came across Teresa Christine's course on preparing interviews. But first off, good luck trying to find a video course that is not preparing you for a job interview. It's actually much harder than you think it is. But basically, in terms of giving the documentary more structure and the interviews a sense of purpose, is there are some questions that I want to ask everyone so that we can get everyone's perspective on things and then draw our own conclusions from that. But then also, since I'm going to start locally and finish at like the top decision makers, hopefully maybe we can get someone who is in the government sitting there or whatever, making decisions. Maybe we can get an interview with him. But so basically what I want to do is gather questions for those who are a level above or so that you can get those questions in early and then ask them at the end. Like if some local guy has a question for the guy in legislation, I can ask this guy instead, and so that would hopefully drive the narrative. So the first person that I'm actually going to be interviewing has been set. Well, I don't know whether it's going to be the first person, probably, but I was given her contact by Shane, and her name is Emily Toner. She's a journalist for National Geographic. So now what I have to do is learn more about fens and wetlands, obviously, do a bit more of research on that, and then try to figure out who the stakeholders are for certain types of wetlands and whatnot. So basically, what types of people are interested and involved with wetlands and fens. But yeah, hopefully that piqued your interest, and next update next week. Bye.